Well, welcome again to RevsIT, and we're going to start off today just by doing the job that I didn't do last time, and that is taking off these clocks. I was going to leave them on, but the bars that hold them here, the framework, is a little bit rusty in parts, so I'm going to just whip it off, give it a quick clean, a new spray of black paint on it just to protect it. So I'm going to get the clocks off, and also keep them out of the way from any damage that might occur as we're doing the work around the rest of the front of the bike. So there are only two bolts, 12mm, 12mm, and I think on the back, the bottom, yeah, there's a nut on the back at the bottom. So let's take the bottom off first, and then we'll come to the top. Now we're going to have to hold that nut, of course, and then just grab my spanner. Trying to drop anything. So let's start off. I'm just going to leave that bolt in there a moment while I take the top one off, so it takes the weight, it doesn't all fall off. And I drop the nut. That's no problem, because it's only just on the floor. And then we can slide that bolt out. And then lift up and slide, because that is actually a captive bolt there. So that's off. A couple of bolts on the back there, 1, 2, 3, no, just 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and this comes off, and then I can repaint it. Actually 4, I was thinking right as well, there is 4. Actually I can do this, I can leave that back, because that's pretty good condition, that. I can leave that on and just take those two off and repaint that part of the framework. Okay, let's get that out of the way anyway. I'll put the bolts back on as usual. Okay, so let's just dismantle the clocks from the frame. There's one. There's 2. So they should just lift off the frame now. Excellent. Just put these to the side safely. And then we can just run these bolts back into their holes. And that's all ready for wire brushing, bit of sanding, and a nice respray. It's a 2-second job, that one. So that can go to the side. Okay, so staying at the front now, the next thing I want to do is take out the races for the actual front top head bearings. I think the bearings I got are the correct ones. It's just they've been updated so that the ball bearings have been replaced by rollers instead. So I'm going to just put a long screwdriver down through here and gently tap out the bottom one. There's a little bit of a lip on the inside, so I'll go around the lip bit by bit, knocking it down so that eventually it falls out. And then we're going to find out how we can take out the top one. I might be able to do the same from the bottom, or I may have to find some way of actually perhaps a large socket or something from the bottom and use that to push it out as well. Let's get on with the first one anyway, the bottom one. Now we want to make sure that we've got the lip of the actual race itself, or the bearing head itself, and just gently tap on it a few times, going round in a circle around it to try and keep it coming out as equally as possible. I think I can see it is moving, definitely moving. There's probably a way to do this with pullers and whatever, but I don't have those tools. Let me have a little look underneath. And yes, it's definitely moving. I can see it there. It's actually twisted a little bit. So what I might have to do is just knock it from the top, which is the part that's outmost. And out she falls. And there we are. Not even any damage on it. Let me get it in focus for you. There's the actual race itself, where the ball bearings, they ran on the inside, of course. The grease on this is like, well, it's like putty. It's really strange. So yeah, that's out. I'll just check that to make sure that it's all okay. I think it is, yeah. It seems fine to me. No sharp edges, no cracks, nothing. And the bearing is out. Next then is the top one. So I'm going to attempt to do exactly the same thing with the top. You can see the screwdriver's there. And it's just catching on the lip on the inside of the race. And work my way around it slowly. It's definitely moving, that's good, good news. So this end is lifted, but this end's gone down a bit. So what I'm trying to do is work on this side to lift it up a bit. And out she pops. And that's the second race out. And again, no marks, no cracks, nothing. I'll clean up the inside of these now with the bit of sandpaper or emery cloth. Actually, I might just use a wire brush first just to clean it up. And then a bit of lubrication on it. And it's ready for the new ones to go in. But that's for another time, not quite yet. Next on the list then for the front end disassembly, the front wheel, so that we can get at the bearings to replace them. Got to say, it's in pretty good condition. Needs a little bit of a respray starting to flake the paint off in one or two places. But yeah, straightforward rub down, clean off. I still think I fancy painting these gold, you know. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? I think these would look really good gold, because there is a little bit of gold on the tank, or the side fairings, I should say. Anyway, I've never taken a motorcycle wheel apart before. Loads of cars, wheel bearings on cars can be a pain. So I'm not sure what to look for on this. First thing we have to do is take off the Speedo attachment here. That just lifts off by the looks of it. And I'll put that safe to the side. I've got a little bucket with all the little bits and pieces in. Let's just give this a wipe down. Wouldn't surprise me if there's circlips in here as well, holding everything in. And I should have a circlip plier somewhere. And I can see a clip there. Okay, so I can see circlip there. There's the two little holes and the clip actually goes around. Let me find the pliers. Okay, so I've got the little circlip pliers now. Let's see if I can get them in. Oh, this might just work, he says. And out it comes. There's the circlip. Again, put this safe. I'll just give it a little wipe first. This grease on here is hard. It's gritty. So this is going to have to be cleaned off properly in the degreaser. But I'll get to that a little later on. So put this to the side. Then this should just lift out, which is the inner part. Again, full of this. I thought at first it was carbon grease, but it's not. It's just ordinary grease that's just full of grime of the years. So take that out. Put that to the side. How am I doing so far? All you out there who've done this job multiple times. Okay, so I got access now to the bearing on this side, and I've got to say, that bearing looks pretty good. I'm going to replace it anyway. Next, we're going to switch it over, and we get at the bearing on the other side. Let's see. So there's the bearing that side. And I don't have to take off the brake, but I'm going to take off the disc anyway, because I want to rub this down and repaint it, make it look nice and clean, whichever colour, preferably gold, I think. So let's get these Allen keys out again. They look like 8s again. Everything seems to be 8s. Okay, push that one in. And off with the disc. Make sure that's in the right place. One. Now, a lot of you out there, younger people, won't know what the hell I'm talking about when I'm going 1 ha 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 ha, 2 ha 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 ha. Years ago, there used to be a television program called The Muppets, and there was a vampire on there. The count. Who used to count like that? So if you ever hear me going 1 ha ha ha, I'm not completely mad, just mostly. Right, that's 2. That's 3. I'm doing this as well. I always take off these things in opposing fashion, so from one side to the other, then back, and then to the other, and so on. Hopefully it prevents warping. This disc looks really good, so I'm hoping it's going to be fine. There seems to be very little wear on it. There's no ridge on it at all. So it's just a little tiny scratch in the middle. It really makes no difference whatsoever. So again, a quick clean up, and that's going to be fine. It doesn't even need repainting, just a wash. Put that to the side. So here we are then. We've got access now to both sides and to both of the bearings, and they both look the same size. So now the question is, how do I get these out?